Now look, it's time to kick it up and start talking about the most important individual award out of all, the MVP award. Now the last two MVPs have been won by Nikola Jokic, and to me, when I look back at this, like let's say we look back at this in a few years, I feel like Nikola Jokic won't get credit for how dominant he was. Like you even see it today, people saying he's one of the worst MVPs of all time. People even think Embiid should have won back-to-back MVPs. And this just proves he won't get the credit for winning back-to-back MVPs. And I think in these back-to-back MVPs, he has been simply dominant. And it's going to get overlooked when we look back at it, especially when we look at the end of his career. We're going to overlook how dominant he was. And I expect him to be really good this year, but the media just won't give it to him. They won't let that happen. They won't let him go 3 in a row. They won't let him do that. And they will try their best to even keep him off the MVP rankings. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's get this straight. He deserves to be top 3. I still think he will be a top 3 in MVP ranks this year, but I just don't think they'll give it to him. So let's dive right into this. Now you're probably wondering, why the hell am I seeing Darius Garland highlights in the background? Listen, him and the guy I'm going to name after him are dark horses. Those are guys who I don't think are going to win the award, but they are going to be surprise guys that's going to be in the conversation to win the award. The reason why I have Darius be in the dark horse is because we've seen it last year. If he's in the lineup, my Cavs are most likely winning. He is the engine of our team, baby Chris Paul, all that. I hope y'all watched that video because I feel like I did my thing in that Chris Paul, Darius Garland comparison video. But he just reminds me so much of Chris Paul, and it just showed last season, man. Every time he was with us, he won. We won. He was our floor raiser. Without him, we freaking sucked. Especially because of the roster. Like, we didn't really have a backup point guard. But still, like, it was nobody to get Evan Mobley going. Nobody to get Jared Allen going. Nobody to get Lauri Markkanen going. He was the engine of the team, and he showed that last year. And I think we have a way better roster than we had last year. Yes, it's most of the same pieces, but I think the Ochai Agbaji signing is big. Colin Sexton is still on a qualifying offer, so I don't think he's going to get offered. So he's most likely coming back. That just helps us even more because we have somebody to take the pressure off of Darius. Darius probably won't average the MVP stats, but like Chris Paul was the last 2 years, his impact and just the way he's hooping on the court is going to get him in the MVP race. I believe Chris Paul finished top 5 when he first went to the Suns. I don't think the same for Darius, but he's going to be talked about in MVP race. I'm telling you. And the same thing goes for Anthony Edwards. I'm so mad that one of my Twitter pages got blocked because I said this and I wanted to keep this prediction. In the next 2 to 3 years, Anthony Edwards will win an MVP. I don't think he will do that this year, but this is the year we're going to see those flashes. I think last year was just a preview of what we got, not only from the Timberwolves, but from Ant-Man himself. A lot of people don't look at the Gobert addition as a big thing, but I think it's pretty huge for the regular season, and the MVP is the regular season award. And the reason why I'm bringing up Gobert and all that stuff is because I feel like they are going to be a top team in the West. I think they can be a top 3 seed in the West, and I think they're going to be led by Ant. And I just think he's going to have a huge season. I already think he's the team's best player. I said this literally, I just looked at this date earlier, October 30th of 2021. I don't think Cat is on his level at all. I mean, all right, I ain't going to do that. He's on his level, but I just think he is the star of his team by far. And I'm really excited for the season. And if they're as good as I expect them to be, don't be surprised if you see Anthony Edwards in the MVP race. Now we made it to my top 3. At 3, I have Giannis being 3rd in the MVP rankings. The media is also tired of Giannis. Like, if you don't look flashy, if you don't look cute, the media is going to get tired of you quick. So he's probably not going to win an MVP unless he has this crazy-ass season where he's averaging 35 and 10. If he does that and they're the best team in the league, he can win MVP, no doubt about it. But if the media wasn't already tired of him, he probably wouldn't won the last 2 MVPs. Best player in the world by far. And I just think I have to put him on my top 3 list. I just have to, out of respect for him. We know who Giannis is. He's a freak all around that dominates in the regular season and the postseason. And I think with the hurtful loss in the second round, along with this team getting better and adding and bringing on key pieces like Marjon Beauchamp, and then getting Javon Carter back, Bobby Portis back, Pat Connaughton back, I think this team will be a top seed in the East. And I think this Giannis, you already knows he has all the moments in the world. All the clutch shots, all the clutch buckets, all the clutch defense. He has all the moments in the world. So I expect him to be back in the MVP race this year. And I expect him to come third, but I wouldn't be surprised if he won it. But this next two I'm about to name, you'll see. Now these next two, I'm putting them together because I told y'all we are in for an historic season. So these next two, I think, are going to have a historic battle to get the MVP. Now this also is my take, so I kind of doubt it happens, but I just have to do this. I have LeBron and Steph being top two in the MVP rankings. And I have them having a crazy battle for it too. Here's why. Yes, this Lakers team is trash. Just focusing on LeBron right now. Yes, this Lakers team is trash. But we haven't seen this team at full health at all. They were kind of at full health at the start of the season. And you can kind of say, yeah, that was kind of like, that's kind of what they're going to look like at fully health. But I just don't know, man. Anthony Davis looked like he came in out of shape last year. It's new. You got Russell Westbrook, who's going to need his touches. It was hard to adjust right away. And as soon as AD got hurt, right away. So I'm thinking a new year with Anthony Davis, with LeBron James, with Russell Westbrook, with them knowing each other a little bit more, even though they only played like 20 games together. I see LeBron taking off. Now, looking at this team, they are trash. I'm not going to lie. This Lakers team is trash. But they could easily be good with just signing mid-level players because you still have the ultimate playing card in LeBron. They can go out there, re-sign Avery Bradley, Dennis Schroeder, Boogie Cousins, and I think they'll be right back to being good. And that's all you need to have. You have LeBron. You don't need that much with LeBron. He's shown us that all his career. You don't need that much. And I expect LeBron, coming off of a year where he missed the playoffs, even missed the play-in, he sees the narrative. Him and Steph both see the narrative. I expect LeBron to have an historic season. He already had one last year, 37 years old, averaging 30. That's crazy. I don't expect him to average 30 again, but I expect him to have all the moments, and I expect this Lakers team to surprise a lot of people. And it's not a biased take because I'm a part-time Lakers fan. They have to earn me back. It's not a biased take, but I definitely see the Lakers being a top 5 seed in the West, coming out of nowhere just because you have LeBron. And that's a hot take. I'm not going to lie. That's a hot take. Now, for Steph Curry, coming off a championship, we seen the first time that happened with Steph Curry. Coming off a championship, he literally had one of the best seasons of all time and won unanimous MVP. I don't think he's going to have that type of season, but I can kind of see a correlation this year. Steph Curry, third MVP, should have been last year, but he let it slip. Did make up for it in the playoffs, though. But I feel like in this upcoming season, the hunger to get another chip while also being dominant and motivated in the regular season can get Steph another MVP. He didn't really have a bad regular season last year. He was just inconsistent number-wise for Steph Curry. But for anybody else, he hooped. But this year, I think he'll bounce back with this team being better and him looking like he has an argument for being the best player in the world. I just see a lot of motivation for Steph. And Steph gets a lot of hate, not only from Twitter, but from his peers, man. I know y'all seen that dumb stuff that Mike James said a couple weeks ago, and Steph literally acknowledged it the next day. So, that's my two picks. Number one, number two. I don't know who I got winning. I'm going to tell you that right now. I probably lean Steph. But I just wouldn't be surprised. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised when they watch this video that I have Braun. But I just wouldn't be surprised if he puts his name in there. Other guys that didn't make it, like KD, I don't know what KD's what team he's going to play for. I already told y'all about Jokic. Embiid, this is really why I don't have Embiid. Because I'm expecting Harden to not go back to MVP level, but go back to what he was in the Brooklyn Nets. And on the Brooklyn Nets, when he first started playing for them, he was top 5 MVP. So when you have two MVP candidates on one team, I don't see one player getting it. That's why Steph and KD didn't win the MVP when they were on the same team. It just usually doesn't happen like that. So I don't really have Embiid, but I do have the dark horses, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Anthony Edwards puts his head in there. But like I said, My top 3: Giannis, Steph, and LeBron. Let me know what you think about this video. One thing though, if you from my who has hoops community on Twitter, what that is you know how Twitter started doing these community things. Well, me and a couple people. Well, actually, first Kenny started the community, and that's how we all met. But then his whole community got shut down. But me and a couple mods started another one, and now we're pretty strong. So if y'all watching this video, leave a question under this video, NBA question under this video, and I will do a Q&A for my next video. Peace out.